Hi, it's Ronnie and welcome to my channel. This month it's Scraptember and 30 Days of Sketches with the Scrappy Sisters and Laura. And then for the 30 Days of Sketches, Christy. They combined the two this year. And this is the very first one of the month. And it's by Laura Whitaker. And see the triangle there, the stitches? Well, stitches being the prompt, I'm assuming that that's a Christmas tree because there is to the left-hand side a large ornament, but I decided rather than make the stitches like a triangle, I would make my own tree out of this template, which, was kind of designing as I went. I just did not want to fold the green paper in half. So I made a template out of the white and decided I'd go with that. I did spray the green before putting it into this folder, and the folder has ornaments and I think holly leaves. I think that's what it has. But if you spray it beforehand, then it don't crack when it goes through the embossing technique. uh, but yeah, it's a little damp still when it comes out, but it dries pretty quickly. I'm using that picture of my grandson, and this was at a daycare, a church one that he attended many years ago. And I took that picture because, they did the group picture first, and then I thought I'd take a few more and forgot to take them off of the panoramic thing, turn that button off. So it was used for all the photos I took that night. Yeah. But I am going to cut them down, I am sure too. I decided I'd go ahead and do the banner part with the photo first so I could tell how big I needed to make the tree and where to put it behind it. Even though it's going to go down first, I needed to have a little bit of guidance of where to put it and stretch it out too. I did get that one piece of paper because, it's green, my favorite color. So I wanted to save as much as I could. And then that little strip, it's it's not a darker green. It's just got more of the darker on it. And I would have liked it to be more darker than that. But I was using scraps because I'll make a few layouts, get scraps, and then I'll try to make one with the scraps so they don't pile up. I made those borders before I ever started the layout. I got this bright idea to make some ahead of time so that I can just grab them. I would use them more on my layouts if they were handy. If I didn't have to stop and get the die out and run it through the die cut machine. But I only did red because, I just got the idea before then. And well, it might have been while I was doing it. I know I got it somewhere in there. So I will be doing more and putting them handy so that I can grab them and put them on the layouts because I do like them on the layouts. My tree looked really fat, but that is because I'm leaving part of it out since I got banners over that part. And I wanted it to go ahead and get fuller at the bottom. The Since the tree is embossed, it kind of reminds me of, the texture more of a tree that does have leaves or pine needles or whatever on it. But instead of stitching the triangles for the tree, I am stitching the garland. I use the red and white twine, and I'm just going to make holes in it and kind of guess where they're going to go so that I can put them all the way down the tree. The twine isn't doing too bad with that needles I got. I think I bought darning needles. It was off of Amazon last year, but I think they were darning ones when I got them. So they'd be a little thicker. So they are thicker than the ones that I had gotten with Amy Tangerine little kit. But I wanted extra because sometimes I'll leave the thread in there so that I can just, instead of having to thread it through the eye of the needle, I can just use whatever's left on that one for the next time. But this is, I think, maybe my first time using the twine on there. I know people has done it before. And I thought about it before. I just did not think about it when I was doing the layout. So I love how it turned out. So I am sure I will be using my twine for stitches again sometime. I fussy cut a bunch of stuff out of some of the Chamel papers. Camera, well, this is a Christmas collection. It's cameras, letters to Santa, um, those viewfinder things. There's several things that I fussy cut out. Oh, and then from Doodlebug, I cut out candy canes because if you could see the photo close up, you would see that a lot of the kids have candy canes and been eating the candy canes. Some of them are turned white already because I don't see no red on them. But uh, I thought I gotta use candy canes on here, so it is glittery, but I don't mind. I went ahead but they're tiny. You know, you have to remember that if it's something huge with glitter with the rest of the layout, not I wouldn't use them probably. But they're tiny, and so I just went ahead and added them to the clusters. All three of the clusters I'm going to have. I'm going to have three clusters, and well, there's one little thing there in the center that you might count as a cluster. It is small, but I wanted to point out my grandson. So I thought I'd make a little cluster there so I could put an arrow on it, which you will see me doing in a little while. And he's not even looking at the camera. There were so many people with cameras. Kids were looking at the wrong ones. My daughter was there and he was looking at her instead of me. And she had her phone though. So he was looking at her, and you can see all the kids looking in different directions. But at least we got the picture. Up in the right hand corner, I'm putting a camera, one of the letters, one of the, well, it was a 4x6 card made with little phrase stickers made into a Christmas tree. Well, I cut that whole thing apart. The stars on top of my tree, and I'm going to use the phrase stickers on different things. And the one up in the upper right is Fa La La La, and it does have a vellum stocking underneath all that. You can barely see it, and one of the wooden buttons from Chamel. The cluster on the left-hand side, it's got all those things and maybe a little bit more. And it has a letter to Santa. And then in the middle, like I said, it was mostly to make a cluster. I just did not want to put a little arrow all by itself. So I even used an envelope to put the arrow on, and I wrote Jake's name there and have it pointing towards him. And I took I think I'm pretty sure except for one, I took the foam tape from underneath the buttons because that one, when I went to lay it down, it looked up like it was a little too high still. So I took it off of all of them and just used the liquid glue. It was Art Institute glitter glue. Well, I think they dropped the word Institute after a while, but I've been buying it a long time. I have these little tiny peppermints, and I'd gotten a little sample when I ordered from this one place. So I ordered more because I have the ones that I've been using, and they're the perler beads that Monica sent me, Spring Chick 28 here on YouTube, because I just love those things. Well, I love these too, but I know she made them homemade, so I am using them more sparingly. I figured when I started using them, I'd do them in like little groups of three in three places on the layout, and I will continue to do that. This one I wanted to kind of filter them out all through the layout and have a bunch on there. So I use them. I did put them on those micro dots. I believe the ones I used are Aileen's tack. Aleene's, that like she makes the tacky glue too. But I used the last of them, so I had to go on Amazon and order me some more. And then after I ordered, I remembered I had bought some at Hobby Lobby with a dispenser. So I could have waited, but I got one with a damaged box, so I got a half price. So I'm okay with that. Every time that says box damaged, but the thing's fine, I go for it. And I've not had any trouble whatsoever with them. This cluster up here at the top, I kept looking at it and I thought, I think I'll put a cross stitch up there. Just add a little stitching up there in that little cluster too. I took this, well, I was intending to use one of the other little border things, but when I looked at it, I decided on this one because it has variety, and I have no idea what that variety is supposed to be. But I'm going to add a little bit of the border on to different places on the layout. I think three. And I seen in the when I was editing the video, I laid it up right above the, well, there it is. Well, when it goes down just a little farther, there we go. That's where I wished I'd went ahead and done it because I liked it when I was editing the video. And after me saying that, I just hope the video and the words are lined up. Sometimes they are, sometimes not as much. I think it's how fast my computer's going. I need like 16 RAM instead of 8 because it does not go as fast as me. If I click too quickly, it freezes and locks up and sometimes crashes, and I got to bring the whole thing up again. Yeah, it is not as fast as my little mouse can click. I think I am pretty close to being done with this layout. I am. Look at that. I am. I'm done with the layout. But if you'd like to try it, you can go to Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches, and upload your take on this sketch. Or Instagram, I believe you can do it there too. I will have links down there below so you can check everyone else who's doing this. Scraptember and Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches. Yeah, there is quite a few names that are going to do it every single day. So theirs will be listed below, plus others that are going to do it when they get a chance to do it. Yeah, if I was working, I would not be doing it every day. But I figured I could commit since I should have time. And it's starting early. But if you leave a comment below, I'll get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. If you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you who already are, thank you so much. But yeah, check out all the links down there below and all the wonderful gals that are sharing their inspirations of the sketch and the prompt. Bye. Take care and stay safe.